Hey there everyone, this is Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne, Australia. This is your weekly precious metals technical analysis, taking a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum and palladium, and occasionally the gold to silver ratio as well. It's been a very interesting week, so we'll take a quick look at the prices and I'll just give you my opinion of where the prices could go, going higher and going lower. And I'll do a really quick video today, of course. Head over to bullionnow.com.au. Online store is still on its way. Give us a call on our phone number there. You can call us anywhere within Australia. If you're international, if you prefer email, sales@bullionnow.com.au. And of course, if you're really local, come and visit us in the store. And of course, you do want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, a total of 219 subscribers right now. And we just uploaded this little sneaky video right here of myself and Michael chatting about how to buy gold and silver and platinum as well. How to buy gold at spot price. Yes, how to buy metal at spot price from Bullion Now via our unallocated program. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just watch the video. You can find out what an unallocated program is, what it does, why it could be advantageous for you. And of course, hit the big red subscribe button right there. Join us on Instagram. Hit the follow button. That's just instagram.com/bullionnow. And exactly the same, twitter.com/bullionnow. Hit the follow button. All right. Interesting week. We have had an up week in total. Here's gold right here. Let me get rid of that. Gold, we've seen a spike from, it's approximately from about 1300 roughly, all the way up to about 1345. So a pretty decent rise, and that's in US dollars as well. Of course, we're using the tradingview.com website priced in USD. Let's go from the weekly to the daily, is what we normally do. And we'll track back about 7 candles, including the one you see right there, the little one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we were about here roughly. I think we were around about this line here. It was about 1280 last week. Well, we have seen a decent spike in the price, all the way up to, as I said, about 1345 USD. If we continue higher from here, where would we find a level of, I guess, next major resistance? So let's just talk about that for a second. And I think I've probably mentioned this one before, but we're definitely at towards the top end of this trading range right here. You can see about approximately there roughly. And approximately, it's usually that one we talk about, trading range. It's more so roughly there is this, or the trading range roughly, as you can see right there. Definitely at the top end of it. You could expect, let me pop again onto the daily. You could expect this area around about here to possibly be an area of resistance, and that's the top end of that trading range channel that I just showed you. And right about here at approximately, say, 1370 roughly. Moving higher from there, let's have a look. We'll go back to the weekly. Moving above this line, well, then what you are doing once you move significantly above this line is you are breaking through this trend line right here, and that's going down from what was it, approximately $1,000. That's back in November of 2015 through this line here, which was at about 1125. And as you can see, we did try to break above it, but it was a quick move down, and we're trying to break above it again. If we do, and we break above here, the next point I think would be roughly, and let me pop this on the horizontal line tool, I think roughly about approximately here, and that's intersecting these couple of resistance points right here. Right here you can see, and it's at approximately $1,430. On the way up, you may have the psychological value of 1,400, but I don't think that's really in play. You can definitely see right here a level of resistance there and a level of resistance there. And it seems to fit into play with a decent enough rise before a pullback. That is if it continues to rise from here and doesn't pull back from here. So that's the next level of major resistance I could see at approximately 1,400 and $30 roughly, maybe up to about $1,445, anywhere between there. Now, I'm not saying that this is the break. This is the break out of this trading range right here. I'm not saying that at all. I still personally have a bias to the downside, and I've been talking about my percentage likelihood, and I'm just giving it 51%. I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. We do need to see a significant break above here before we can call this maybe, a new, or could we call it a new bull market? Quite possibly. So moving down from here, let's have a quick look on the daily. Moving down, of course, now you've got this trend line right here, and it depends where it would hit, but if we see a quick spike down, you could see it anywhere between approximately 1285 and, let's see, maybe 1285 and about 1300 is where we could find support at. If it's not support and we do continue to go down lower over time, let's just pop out onto, oh no, I've got right here. We have been talking about many times before the level of 1250 moving down, next level moving down about $1,230, and of course you have on the longer term time frame this trend line right here, and that just depends on when it hits. So a little spike in the last week. I definitely would not say that we're out of the woods in terms of seeing lower prices from here. We could certainly see it. And I've just given you my price targets to the upside and to the downside. All right, let's take a quick look at silver. I think all of the metals have had a little bit of a rise. Silver right here, 1482 currently. All right, so let's check out on the daily, and we'll count back 7 candles. One, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was around about here. So around about your sort of 1440 level, I believe it was. And we have seen a rise, which is good to see. Definitely good to see. A rise up to approximately, just touched on the $15 US mark. Now, I think still a bias to the downside, and with my previous videos, I have been talking about the major support level of approximately between $13.90 roughly and $14, something like that, around about this level right here. You might even include the $13, it's about $13.65 level right there. I think we may touch that before we see higher prices. And just keep that in mind, because as I've said many times before, the more times you test a particular level, the more likely it is to be taken out. But of course, I could be completely wrong, and this is not financial advice, of course. Could this be the start of a new run up? Sure, but I'm giving it still a 51% chance of lower prices from here. We're not out of the woods just yet. But let's just blue sky think, and if we are moving up further from here, where's the next level of resistance? And you'd be looking at this trend line right here, and that's going through these few points, and just again depends on when it hits. But if it was to do it, say in the next few weeks, the next month, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd be looking at approximately between about $17 and $17.20 roughly. So that would be the next level of major resistance in my opinion, and moving up from there you would be looking at the next level of about $21, and moving further down, if we do break down through this key level of support right here, I've been talking a lot about this trend line right here going down through the old high and through that high right there, and you would see potentially it bouncing off there before possibly even lower. And if we do head lower, which I don't think we will ever go that low, but remains to be seen, if we do head lower, your next major level is around about your $9.50, $10 mark in US dollar terms, of course. But I don't think we're going to get there, but stranger things have happened in the big city. Let's have a look at XPT and platinum. Now this one has followed my prediction, for want of a better word, pretty well. Last week I was talking about the fact that we've been in this trading range here in this symmetrical triangle pattern, and we did come down all the way to the bottom, and I did suggest that we might see a spike up before we see lower prices. We certainly saw a spike up, and I've been talking about these two specific levels here of 875 roughly, and this specific level here of 830. And what do you know, on the daily time frame, if you take a look, after, let's see, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, we're around about the bottom end right here, and we did see a spike back up, and I did mention last week this could be an area of resistance, and it has been so far. So we have spiked up to about $830 for platinum per ounce, and back down to approximately 800. Now, if we see higher prices from here, of course, we've got this next level, as I mentioned, about 875, and we're still at the moment trading within this symmetrical triangle pattern range. And if you didn't see the video last week, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, with the trading range with the symmetrical triangle pattern, you tend to bounce up and down, and it gets squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until it has to make a decision either way. Never usually gets to the very corner, the very apex right there. Tends to make a decision around this kind of area, whether it's going to spike back up or spike back down. And heading down from here, we have the level of approximately, you've got about 780 right there. You can see those key levels of support, and this next major one here at about 750 USD. My bias is still to the downside for all the precious metals for a little bit longer. I need to see a little bit more data to be really sure that we're sort of out of the woods. And lastly, we're taking a look at good old Palladium, XPD. And let's have a look right here on the daily time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we're coming up towards the top end of this trend line right here. Have since seen a spike back up to about $1,380 US, and back down sort of, you can see, let's pop into the 4 hour. Yeah, as you can see, it's sort of bouncing, trying to make a decision either way. Is it going to spike much lower than this trend line? It's sort of just flirting up and down in between this trend line right here. Currently heading on the way up, but I do think if you punch out to the weekly, I do still think we do need to visit the previous old high of between 1150 and 1100, because that tends to happen. Doesn't happen every single time, but I think more likely than not we will head back to there before we see a big spike in the price. Now, of course, I would be happy to be wrong, but of course, if you want to find out, what's going on with the precious metals, you do want to subscribe to the channel, because I do this every single week. So hit the big red subscribe button right here. Go to youtube.com/Bullion Now to join the family. Of course, hit the big follow button on Instagram and the big follow button on Twitter as well. Stay safe, gang, and we'll speak to you soon.